have this craving for performance and to deliver a performance. Not necessarily though with my body. Like I'm always imagining performances. I don't think I'd ever be an actor or an actress. I'm just not skilled enough and not good looking enough. But also just I am so OCD about it. Like there were times when I was a young little girl, and there's like footage of this. My parents have footage of this where my little brothers and sisters would be following me, and we'd be playing like zoo animals, and they'd be walking like a tiger or like a duck or something, and I would turn around and be yelling at them and directing them on how they were doing it incorrectly or doing it wrong, or oh no, you need to spread your legs out, pretend like your hips are wider, or like yada yada, you're not doing this, your shoulders in the wrong angle. And so I think I'm too OCD to be like an actual actor or actress. And so the best thing to do instead is to just obviously be an animator. I got into puppets coming out of a stage of the weirdest depression I've ever been in my life, actually. Relationship, like my boyfriend, my husband now, but my boyfriend at the time was really great. My family's great. Like my living situation was fine. And I couldn't figure it out. And then when it finally dawned on me, it was that I had been going to work every day and was creating and was using a lot of creative energy, feeling very fulfilled, feeling very happy, working on my projects. And I would come home and just, watch a Netflix show, hang out with my boyfriend, do garden or something, go to spin class, do whatever I would do sort of in the evenings. But I would go to work and create. And creating was my job. And creating for me when I was just like in high school or grade school or whatever was always just sort of this thing I sort of did on the side. I was like so happy. And then when you go to college, it was suddenly the thing that you do because that's what you're there for. I got my job immediately after I graduated college, and it had always just been my job. It always just been my job. And I think that those two things got too connected, and I didn't realize how much it was needed in my life, how much like it was who I was, and those two things had just been glued together too tightly. And so suddenly I picked up a bazillion hobbies. Needle felting, I started playing guitar again, and I started making puppets. And for whatever reason, like I have these other hobbies, but for whatever reason, puppets is kind of the one that has the most interesting results. But that was basically the reason why I started building, was just because I was just wanting to make something again. So I started building puppets to get myself out of this funk from not making anything in this job that had become my only creative outlet. So separating my creativity from my work was probably the best thing I've ever done for myself as an artist. I would go to work and feel really fulfilled and use a ton of creative energy, come home and be tired, like not even really want to make any sort of decision about, do you want to change your Facebook profile? Oh, that would have been too much creative energy. It's really nice to come into my workshop at the end of my day, having, slaved all day over maybe like a half a second or 1 second of footage that is just like this one type of thing, and be able to sit down at my desk and just go with whatever is the first decision I think of. And it's my decision, and it's immediate, and I commit to it, and you have to solve your problems creatively and just sort of be like, I feel like I'm flying a jet plane when I'm sitting at my puppet desk versus sitting at my computer at work, because the decisions and everything is just happening so quickly. And it's such a nice relief to just kind of sit and just sort of be you just puppeteer something. I've got like a baby lock sewing machine. It's like the intro model. Like it does its job really well, but it only does one job, which is like to sew like 1 or 2 different types of stitches. Like there's no bells or whistles or anything. Like I struggle a lot, like especially if the type of like materials that I'm working with, it jams all the time. But I like that. I want it to be a struggle. Like I don't want it to be super easy, because you're, you know, there's no victory without a battle, and there's no there's no joy or in overcoming something that wasn't difficult, you know. So I don't put a set character or a set name to a lot of the puppets that I build. Maybe the couple of first ones I started doing that. But what I realized what was happening is when I handed a friend or handed a coworker or somebody a puppet and said, oh, this is Clarence the rabbit, and he's an old man, and yada, 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 I could see them thinking and suddenly kind of changing what they thought the puppet was going to be themselves. It's much better to hand somebody a puppet and just be, this is a blank slate, and just see what they come up with. That's actually one of my favorite things as a builder, as a puppet builder, or as a puppeteer, just handing someone a puppet and seeing kind of what they bring to it, right? Whereas, you know, if I were to hand somebody Fozzie, they would immediately start acting like Fozzie, you know, or any other type of character. But there's so much joy in that freedom. So now I've kind of stopped naming them. Instead, I just kind of make them, and they can be anything they want at any time. The most that I will play with my puppets will, I swear to God, either one of two things. Either just be sitting on the couch lip-syncing to the Moana or Frozen soundtrack, or being at my desk. I do this a lot. This is the majority of my puppeteering. I will be at my desk, and sometimes I do use the puppets as like animation reference, like they come back around. But like, I will be at my desk and I will be listening to a podcast as I'm working, because I can't listen to music because it totally screws up my timing of my animation. So I only listen to NPR and talk radio. And so anytime I'm waiting for a shot to load or something that's going to take a little long, I will look into my reference mirror with my puppet, and I will just lip sync along to whatever podcast. And this happens multiple times a day, to the point to where people are used to walking in on me doing this, and they don't even say anything anymore. They're just they just think that's fine. This is normal. My name is Kat Hicks. I am a wino and a dog person and a feminist and a record collector, and I bike to work, and I am a puppeteer both digitally and traditionally.